Money used to be something you could touch. Coins, notes, gold locked in a vault. But in the 21st century, most of the world's money isn't physical anymore. It exists as numbers, flickering across servers, flowing invisibly between cities and islands you've probably never visited. And in this invisible network, geography still matters. Because even in the digital age, the map decides who gets rich, who stays poor, and where power truly hides. This is the geography of money, today. Every second, trillions of dollars move through a digital web that ties the global economy together. But those trillions don't move randomly. They flow along routes, financial corridors shaped by geography, law, and history. Today, over 90% of global currency exists only in digital form. Yet even digital money needs physical infrastructure. Data centers, banks, cables, servers, and most importantly, jurisdictions. Places with laws, taxes, or loopholes that make money feel comfortable. In the 20th century, nations fought for land. In the 21st, they compete to host money. You might think that in a borderless digital age, location wouldn't matter anymore. But the truth is, location has never mattered more. That's why global finance clusters in a few small areas of the map. Places like Manhattan, the City of London, Zurich, Singapore, and Hong Kong. These aren't random points. They all share a few geographic traits: access to the sea and trade routes, political stability. Strong rule of law, at least for investors, and time zones that bridge global markets. Together, they form what some economists call the financial belt, a chain of cities that never sleep, where money moves west to east and back again every single day. If you could strip away the ocean and see the seafloor, you'd find thousands of thin glass cables, stretching 1.4 million kilometers. They're no thicker than a garden hose, but they carry almost 99% of global internet traffic. And with it, money. Every stock trade, wire transfer, and blockchain update depends on these cables. They connect financial centers like New York to London in under 60 milliseconds. That means whoever controls these routes, or their choke points, controls the flow of global capital itself. The geography of finance isn't just about cities anymore, it's also about these hidden arteries beneath the ocean, and who protects, taps, or watches them. If global cities are where money is earned, tax havens are where it hides. Across the world, there are tiny places, often islands, that control vast portions of the world's financial wealth. The Cayman Islands has fewer than 100,000 people but holds $8 trillion in assets. Luxembourg has under 1 million citizens, yet its financial sector is worth dozens of times its GDP. These are geographic anomalies, small, quiet places that thrive on secrecy and proximity to larger powers. Many were once colonial outposts, and when the empires faded, these islands reinvented themselves, not as military bases, but as financial fortresses. Instead of soldiers, they now host lawyers. Instead of ships, they harbor shell companies. Roughly 40% of all global foreign direct investment is routed through tax havens. Money leaves a country, passes through a legal shell in the Caribbean or Europe, and then quietly returns as foreign capital, often untaxed. These places are the quiet lungs of the financial system, taking in money from everywhere and exhaling it invisibly. When you trace the geography of money, you also trace the geography of history. The world's main financial arteries often follow the roots of old empires. London became the center of global finance because the British Empire once stretched across a quarter of the planet. English law, shipping insurance, and merchant banking, all tools of empire, evolved into the infrastructure of global trade. That legacy didn't disappear, it just changed shape. Today, the City of London still connects to its former colonies through a network of financial territories: the Caymans, Jersey, Bermuda, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Together, these places form what researchers call the spider web, an offshore system built on geography, history, and law, still anchored in the heart of London. Even in the 21st century, geography remembers its past, but the map is shifting. The financial gravity of the world is slowly moving east. Singapore, once a colonial port, is now one of the richest countries on Earth. Its geography, sitting between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, makes it the perfect crossroads for money and trade. Hong Kong once played a similar role for China, a bridge between global markets and the mainland economy. Meanwhile, Shanghai, Seoul, and Tokyo have become anchors of an Asian financial triangle, powering more than a third of global GDP. And Dubai has emerged from desert geography to become a neutral hub for investors from Asia, Africa, and Europe. In every case, geography, ports, proximity, and position remains the foundation of financial power. We often think that digital money, like Bitcoin or online banking, has no geography. But even the most virtual currencies have a physical footprint. Bitcoin mining depends on access to cheap electricity, which is why mining farms cluster in Iceland, Kazakhstan, Texas, and Sichuan, where power is abundant and cold air keeps servers cool. Every cryptocurrency transaction still passes through data centers in countries with stable electricity and low political risk. Even decentralized finance needs centralized infrastructure. The cloud isn't floating above the Earth, it's built on the Earth, and it's built unevenly. That's why the geography of money today is a hybrid map. Digital flows over physical ground. But where there's money, there's opacity. And geography can be used to hide, not just host. Secrecy laws in Switzerland, the Caribbean, and parts of the US, like Delaware, make it nearly impossible to trace ownership of shell companies or trust. Criminal networks, corrupt politicians, and oligarchs exploit geography, moving assets from unstable countries into safe havens protected by different legal systems. The result is that nearly 10% of the world's total wealth is hidden offshore. That's over $11 trillion stored in places many people couldn't find on a map. It's not an accident, it's geography, engineered to protect money from scrutiny. As technology evolves, the geography of money will evolve too. Central banks are now developing digital currencies, electronic versions of national money that could make transactions faster, cheaper, and easier to monitor. But these systems also raise new questions. If all money flows through digital networks controlled by governments, who really owns privacy? And if all finance depends on server locations, what happens when those servers become geopolitical targets? The next great conflict over money might not be fought with banks and sanctions, but with data centers and code. From the ancient Silk Road to the modern SWIFT network, money has always followed the map. But today, that map isn't made of mountains and rivers. It's made of laws, cables, and trust. Some countries have turned their geography into leverage. Others have been left watching wealth flow past them, unseen but unstoppable. In a world where money moves faster than ever, one truth remains. No matter how digital it becomes, money still needs a place to live. And the locations it chooses, tiny islands, great cities, or hidden servers, will shape the balance of power in our world for decades to come.